Welcome, fam. There's a question that I get asked in my DMs whenever I put out and ask for you guys to ask me anything. When do you know, especially after anything traumatic or sad can happen, when do you know that you are ready to love again? I want to get into that today. Hello, Hunnay. If you join my membership club, you get custom emojis and badges. You get deleted scenes that don't make the episode and early access to episodes before anybody else sees them. The VIP people, they tell you the truth. Alana Jones, you posted a comment about the Come Fly With Me episode where me and Paul show you our airplane routine. You said there could be an apocalypse and Jeannie Mai would still be late because I want to go to Barnes & Noble. And Miss Alana Jones, you are absolutely accurate. In the words of DJ Khaled, look it up. Yes, I will be, because I want something to read, and there's nothing worse, not even missing your flight, than to be stuck on a flight without something to read. Thank you for being a true VI people. I appreciate that. Please do join the membership club. And if you didn't join the membership club, it's okay. You still get episodes every Thursday. So many of you know that after divorce, I specifically took some time to be with myself. What exactly does that mean? Oh my God. Oh God, right there. Everybody talks about self-love and self-care. And I honestly used to think it was a really cheesy thing. Like, what does that mean? You're hugging yourself in the morning, you're telling yourself affirmations in the mirror, which work for some people. I feel sometimes kind of corny saying it to myself, to be honest with you. So what did that mean for me? Well, I knew that coming out of divorce, the last thing I should be doing is trying to date. I felt like I lost my equilibrium. I didn't know who I was, because when you're a wife, you define yourself as a wife and you do everything you're supposed to do in order to serve this marriage, to fight for it, fight through the guilt if it's not working out. All those things happen. So you lose your equilibrium. Imagine like getting spun around, like, I don't know, for every day of a marriage, sometimes 10 years. However long that is, and they let you go and you're just like, where the am I? That's what I felt like. I felt like I was coming out of a whirlwind, just settling everything so that I could quiet the noise and just hear the sound of my own thoughts. Could not believe how long that took. Friends feel bad for you, so they want to take you out, and that's nice, but at the end of the day, you just need to hear your own thoughts. I started having to say no. I started to have to put my phone down when I was at home and literally just be at peace. What's going on in here? What's going on in here? What's happening down here? That actually took a few months. Saying no, staying home on weekends. I tried to watch movies and I realized that's only kind of covering things up. I'd read, which did help get my mind off of things. But honestly, just really spending time with myself, even if it was taking a bath, journaling, just sitting on the couch, literally like this, and just like, where's your mind right now, Jeannie? What do you need these days that you haven't been giving yourself? I remember thinking which parts of the relationship I could have gotten out, like just a lot of guilty feelings. How embarrassed I was that I put myself in such a predicament to be divorced in my late 30s. I don't know why, the age thing, but there was just this shame about that. Oh my God, starting over, allowing myself to actually go down that lane, what the unknown might be like. And then you know what's crazy? Through that moment, I actually learned the worst advice I've ever gotten. Not just about like post-divorce or post-breakup, but the worst advice I ever gotten was to be fearless. Don't be afraid. Go out there and date again. Don't be afraid, love again. I understand what they're trying to say as far as like not to let fear succumb me or keep me from, living my life. For me, it's better to know my fears. I don't want to be fearless in the sense where I pretend I don't have fears. I actually like to know what my fears are. I want to know that my fear is meeting people, whether or not I'll be alone later on. Let's just start with those two. It's gonna be so weird to meet people. People are texting nowadays, everybody's on dating apps. Like, you don't even go out. How are you gonna meet somebody? I remember that being the fear. And then when I really thought about it, I was like, the second you say hello, the ice is broken and anything can come from that. And I also think that I have great stories to tell, whether it's my own life experiences or things I'm thinking about. I know I can make conversation. So when I knew the fear, I actually played out scenarios and I worked myself right through the fear because I didn't avoid it. Know your enemies up front. Know exactly what that fear is. So when it hits you, you're not afraid because you've already played out the scenario of how to work through it. Another fear that I had, obviously being on a talk show, The Real, we talk a lot about relationships. I thought, am I allowed to talk about relationships anymore? My marriage didn't even last. Who's gonna listen to the chick who's divorced? That was a fear of mine. And there were a few episodes where we talk about relationships and I just kind of sit at my part of the table and I just sit quiet and I always let the ladies that are married answer. It just makes more sense that you wanna listen to the successful people that are doing it. And then somewhere, I was like, no, my feelings are valid. My experience is valid. The things that I learned as a result of the divorce can actually be some of the best advice that I wish I got before I got married. And so I started speaking about this. The ladies have great advice when it comes to how to sustain your marriage and how to keep it strong. And then I also have advice when you see red flags, when you start to see physical change, when you're not as intimate anymore or you don't care to be because there's lack of a connection, and how much time can fly by if you don't do something about it. Before you know it, the problem that you started to notice, you look back and it's been like 2 or 3 years later. And I can't tell you how many people have actually shared this same sentiment who were in the same type of relationship where you just look back and years later, you've realized that you should have gotten out a long time ago. Right after I got out of divorce, I did not want to date. I didn't even know what I liked. I think I went out on a couple dates and I was like, nah, fam, I'm good. It's not fair to the other person to sour their experience because I'm sitting here kind of jaded, right? I remember a specific date. The guy was super nice, super cute, successful. We were sitting across from each other. And I remember in my head questioning every single thing that I should ask or every single thing that I'm supposed to answer. If he asked like, so what was your last relationship like? I had like at least 40 answers before I even said anything to him. He must have thought I was crazy. I was thinking, should I tell him I got divorced? No, don't say you're divorced. That's already like opening it up. Wait, what should you talk about? Maybe you should change the subject. Like there were so many problems with me being me. That's the sign where I knew that I wasn't ready to date. It's okay to be a work in progress, to actually accept that. That was a big turning point for me. So when I started saying no to dates, I started doing things by myself that I enjoyed. Going to the gym 3 times a week and focus in that gym of thinking about all the things that you are excited to work on. When you're working out that bicep muscle, like really just think about that bicep. Think about the tank tops you want to wear. Think about how toned you want to look, how strong you want to feel. And when I did that, it visibly worked. Then I went into cooking. I was like, you know what, Jeannie, you need to have like a one knock 'em dead dish. I taught myself how to make pad thai. I learned how to get the rice noodles, get the peanut sauce, get the chile, the coriander, everything. The next thing I did was revisit journaling. I didn't know what to write on paper, so I started on my phone, to be honest with you. I did a memo. Yo, I'm trying this thing where I'm gonna start writing to myself again. What's up, Jeannie? How are you? Guys, I didn't put down that phone for like 4 hours. I just wanna write whatever my head is thinking. A little excited, a little nervous, but hasn't been heard by anybody. And everybody knows that once you feel heard, you feel motivated. It's when you don't feel heard that you kind of feel stuck. And so I was making myself feel stuck by not listening to myself. These are my memos. And all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you see that? These are all my dear diaries to myself. Dreams that I had, conversations that I didn't finish with myself, reasons why I wanted to date again. There's a lot. I started to build this idea of the type of relationship that I would only be interested in having. It actually made me not need to go out and look for dating, but instead just carry on with my life feeling more confident about how okay I was. Some of the things that I wrote that I absolutely need to have: thorough communication. I love being able to talk about anything, even if you're attracted to somebody else, to be able to talk about that. Even if you're embarrassed sexually about something and you want to pour into it and figure it out together in different ways. Communication is everything for me, even communicating with just your eyes and not saying a word. There's so much power in that, and I wanted that. Brutal honesty, like Mama Mai honesty. I'm very attracted to the relationship I have in my family. Excuse me?
I don't need you, but whatever. For beauty, you here.
Do I look like Princess Leia?
No, you look like a Boy Scout.
I look sad.
That's the way you born.
With my parents, you see, everybody, Uncle Ted, everybody's brutally honest. When it's so raw that it can hurt, it makes it, I don't know why, but it's lovable and it's funny and it works for me. Respect. I hands down believe that if you don't respect the person you're with, there's no way the relationship can last. Understanding, especially at 40, it was so important to date somebody who understood everything that I went through. They don't have to agree with it, but just understand why I was in a relationship for 10 years, why I separated with my mom or falling out, why I'm hard on myself in certain areas of my business. Like, just understand it so that you know where I'm coming from. And then any opinions that you have can come after that. You should be the person who knows me like I know me, right? Vision. I think it's so important to have a vision. And that's what I didn't have in my last marriage. And I never thought about having a like-minded vision. I thought if they're independent and they've got their own passion of a job and you've got your own thing, great. You guys can just live together in a house and that'd be great. It doesn't work. You have to have some type of vision so that you guys continue to grow together. And from working and this money that you make, what are you doing with it together? Are you traveling together? For some, it's having kids. I don't know what it might be, but you have to have a vision as you change. Forgiveness in a working relationship, you're gonna let each other down. You're gonna make a mistake. Can that person forgive? There's a lot of power and maturity in forgiveness, and I've learned to have that. So I wanna make sure that the person I meet also exemplifies that. Unity, be passionate about similar things. It doesn't have to be everything, and I'm not talking about like political class and stuff, but there has to be certain aspects that that person is passionate about, and you could speak about it for them because you know that that's something they hardcore believe in, and vice versa. Be united where that person will back you up and speak up for you if someone ever spoke bad about you without you there, and you know they would. Healthy love. Healthy is like a really important word. Are you guys nurturing each other and feeding your souls? Are you holding each other? Are you sharing the 5 love languages with each other? Like this list, yo, let me tell you, when I got so specific with what exactly I wanted, I absolutely believe that I Jeannie-fested what came to life. Doing everything to spend time with Jeannie and watching myself do things I've never done before, just because I was forcing myself to do it by myself. I actually liked myself way better after divorce than I'd liked myself before. I was attracted to myself. I was like, yo, you're fun, you're adventurous, you're open-minded, you're curious. I was cool. I was like, if I date, I date. If I don't, I don't. And that aura, I believe it gives off this pheromone that men or women can be attracted to. That's the vibe you want to give off. But you don't get that vibe until you really like yourself, even if it's the things you don't know about yourself yet. Owning that and having fun with the things that you don't know yet about yourself can be a really attractive quality. After I took a year of really getting to know myself, naturally, if somebody asked me out on a date, I was like, sure. And I would always go on the date as if I was going on the date with myself. The date wasn't about, let me meet this person and let me see if this person's gonna be right for me. No, the date was, I'm gonna go out with myself and have a bomb-ass time. This guest is joining me. Whatever happens, happens. I met great friends, but I also knew when I was like, no, this isn't the one. When I actually sat down on November 28th, 2018 with Jay, the minute I sat down and we locked eyes, like, you guys, when I say the minute, that's even too long. The millisecond that I saw his eyes, I just like immediately knew that he was special. And I knew that he had like a, I just saw this like crazy kindness in his eyes and this humility that he, like me, hasn't made the best choices in life. Things didn't always turn out the way they're supposed to. But in our careers, we look like we have all the answers. We look like, yo, these people can't possibly live a day being unhappy. But I could see right away that he had been broken like me. And it was insane. So I was able to like connect with that. And we are great at where we are right now, as far as spending each day to unveil more of each other and appreciate it. Oh my God. I absolutely, positively know that I could not have fallen in love today had I not fallen in love with myself. At the end of the day, you're already with the one person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, and that's yourself. So you have to really, really enjoy who that person is. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.